where they're, perhaps getting exposed to things that their parents wouldn't want to be exposed to. Very safe environment.
Yes. Yes.
Now, what age or what class of student would typically stay in these facilities?
These are all sophomores. So the current freshmen who are living on campus now, on the main campus, have what I call kind of a first right of refusal to accept a spot here. And we have enough students over there that we're feeling fairly confident that we can fill this space and keep it purely sophomores. Another reason why we want it to be a sophomore community, it really helps with Cal Poly's retention. To really keep students on the campus, not interrupting their experience in year 2 by going out and trying to relearn everything out in the community.
And we know those first couple of years can make all the difference between whether or not a young person feels hopeful and excited and successful, or they begin having problems.
Right, and so we want to keep the freshmen and sophomores on the campus, and by the time they get through their sophomore year, they're pretty much ready to be out in the community. They're juniors, they can almost see the finish line, they're better neighbors, they're a little bit more mature. Their partying is around holidays instead of 24/7, and so, we think it's good. And by having the sophomores on the campus, it gives us an opportunity to continue to infuse into them the programs and activities and the kind of things that are important about being kind of a mature adult
So
out in the
for
community.
4 or 5 minutes away from campus, are there locations here where students can study? Can you tell us about what life is like here, what the apartments are like, sort of fill in the blanks for maybe someone who lives in the community who may never come out here and actually see it themselves?
Well, the main objective is we really wanted this community to be really a community where students feel like they can do everything they need to do. So within the buildings themselves, we have a lot of study spaces that they can come out of their apartments if their roommate is working their last nerve and need a space to retreat, so they can actually come out in their apartments and study within the buildings. We also have a knowledge center that allows students to come down and do group study. We also have 2 conference rooms and a lot of recreation space throughout, so whether you want to play and study, you can do a combination of both. And again, the plaza serves as that as well. You can study as well as kind of spend some time with your friends.
Speaking of recreation, I thought I saw a pool over there.
Yes.
What a great amenity to have on a hot day, and we get a few of them up here in the hills.
Yes.
So the students, again, after class, if they need to go ahead and recreate a little bit and get some good exercise, they can do it right here in Poly Canyon Village.
Very much, yes. And the pool is out in public. We really decided to not tuck the pool away because students like to see each other, but in addition, it helps with just the safety and security of the pool to have it in a visible location. So the students who are living in the buildings looking down upon the pool, we can't get them out of their rooms. They just love that. So, and we've had some pretty hot days here, especially when we open.
And how do you handle safety for the students and security at a site like this? Because how many students are you going to have in Poly Canyon Village?
Well, when full bill, about 2,700.
That's a small town.
Right, it's a very small town.
In any group that large, there'll be some folks that need a little extra attention.
Right. When we have student staff and staff in place that are responsive, the staff does, they conduct rounds up until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, walking around, making sure everything is fine. And so far, so good. One of the benefits of having sophomores is that, they understand the rules, they understand the drill, they understand what we expect of them.
There's a safe place for the parents to send their kids.
And the bad behavior is really at a minimum, which is kind of exciting, which is what we want.
Which is great for the students because it's going to make them more successful. One of the exciting programs here at Cal Poly is occurring right here in the Department of Kinesiology, a program that tries to deal with some of the underlying issues associated with obesity, which is having a huge impact in many of our communities right here in the Central Coast. I'm privileged to be joined by Professor Ann McDermott, who's here with me. And I'd like to, first of all, Ann, thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
I've been reading a lot about obesity becoming really a huge problem, and it's something that Cal Poly has got a program now to try and help our community deal with. Could you help us understand why obesity is such a serious issue, and what the medical impacts are of obesity?
Right now, well, I'll back up. In the 1960s and the 70s, we had about 5% of our children were overweight. And now we're seeing we have 36% of our children overweight. So in a classroom where you had 1 in 20 kids, now you have 1/3 of the class is overweight. And if we look at the Mexican-American community, on the boys, it's actually 42% of the boys are overweight or obese. And so we're seeing the problem is growing markedly. It's cutting across all races and ages. And in fact, we're seeing the 6 to 12-year-olds and toddlers even are now, the obesity rates are rising even faster than they are in the 12 to 18-year-old range.
That's very troubling.
So why is it so problematic? We also have, I have to say, like about 66% of the adults are overweight or obese. So we're seeing it's affecting a huge percent of the population. And you've seen in the newspaper the diabetes epidemic. Well, one of the reasons why there's so much emphasis on the diabetes epidemic is it's that particular illness is so associated with fat, and in particular belly fat. So as we see even kids having bellies, we're starting to see diabetes in children. To the point we've changed the name from adult onset diabetes to type 2 diabetes because we had so many kids have diabetes.
And so as I understand it, this isn't simply an academic program to study the impacts. It's actually an outreach program for a community where you'll be helping facilitate programs here on the Central Coast to actually deal with the conditions that we're experiencing. Can you help me understand what that outreach program will look like?
Okay. So we're going to specialize in translational research, which means not taking more laboratory values and not doing more prevalence data, but finding out, so what do we do about it, the action step. So we're trying to partner our faculty and our students with agencies in the Central Coast. It could be an educational agency, it could be a nonprofit like a YMCA, or a government agency, a medical agency, and how do we help them promote healthy weight across the lifespan?
That's really impressive. So here we've got Cal Poly really making the lives of people in our community significantly better, and having really a target market of oftentimes young people, so you're affecting their lives in a way that'll make them healthier adults.
So we've looked at, we've actually gone around the county and talked with many agencies. A number of us, I serve on so many boards it's not funny, and trying to find information about the county and also trying to provide expertise on the part of the university. So we have a phenomenal array of faculty with tremendous depth of expertise, and yet many of them aren't applying that into the community. So how do we create partnerships between our agencies and our university? That in turn allows our students to learn in a hands-on way. And I say, enough with the doobies, we need problem solvers.
Wonderful.
So how do we create problem solvers? And that's by partnering our students with a faculty person, with an agency, to do an assessment as to why the problem is there in that particular agency. What does the agency think it needs to get over the hump to have a solution? And then we create new programs. So I'll give you an example. Right now we're partnering in the 5 cities area, and we're working with the Arroyo Grande Hospital Foundation, the San Luis Coalition, the Food Bank, the Latino Outreach Council, the Lucia Mar School District, the YMCA, and their Bright Futures After School program.
Nice partnership you've established.
So we're going to put the best of all of our skill sets together, and we've seen that the middle school is a critical period to the direction taken in high school and the rest of your life. So we have some after-school programs that we're trying to develop, and we're trying to create things that aren't there right now. So we have a Dude Chefs and a Pink Chefs program going. We have a culinary program. We want kids to learn how to cook. We know Lucia Mar is going to be moving towards a culinary program in its high school. Well, why would a kid go on a culinary program if they have never seen it before and they don't know what it's about? We know many of our kids are responsible for helping at home with food preparation for the family. They can in turn go back and educate their family. So we're trying to develop a model program that could then be implemented by any agency, not just our agencies. And if that was your target population, middle school, after school, primarily Latino community, then this will be a good fit for you.
Professor McDermott, thank you so much.
Thanks.
We'll watch the progress of your program with great interest and appreciate all your hard work.
We can't wait. We have lots of good stuff going on.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.